Good morning, everybody. So we'll start this first panel this morning, and we could not begin with such a relevant topic that is the innovation in the ski industry. So it's a topic for our country very interesting, and I could not be in better company than I am today with the panelists that the Secretary has presented. So the ski industry is facing many challenges, and the COVID-19 crisis has increased it and has made it more relevant, some of them, such as the transition to a more sustainable ski resorts, the necessity to be more competitive in an environment and in mountain destinations with an increasing competitiveness between us and between these destinations, or for example, the increasing importance of digital platforms and digital and new technologies in order to deal with customers and new niches. So I would like first to start the discussion about how are you starting to introduce these new technologies and this innovation in your context, and how they are helping you to really become more competitive in this new context. So maybe Juan Ramón.
Okay, thank you. So I think technology is one of the key factors of the strategy of every company nowadays, but especially for us is a key point. From that perspective, the client, the customer, is very much used to work with the online things, the internet. So in the ski industry, if we compare ourselves to an airline, for example, we never go to a physical place to buy a ticket to take an airplane. So we go online, we buy the ticket, we make the boarding process, we get the boarding card, and then we go to the airport. So in our industry, it's a little bit different, and this is one of the points that will affect very directly to the customer in the coming, I would say, months, years. First of all, we are investing a lot in developing a pure online selling process, which means that the web and the app will be the key tools that we will have in the sales part of the process in order to be very productive and effective in this idea. So Amazon is what we want to be when it comes to the ski industry. And it means that all the processes has to be very easy for the customer, very direct, and as short as possible. So we are developing a new website that will be online, hopefully by the end of November, more or less. And this is just one part of the transformation that we are suffering right now. Okay? So the online channels has to push a little bit the offline, and it means that everything should be done easily and online. Talking about new tools or new things, we will be pioneers when it comes to the dynamic pricing point. Okay, so at this stage, and just a little few years ago, some of the Alps resorts are implementing a dynamic pricing strategy, and we can say more or less like 3, 4, some of them maybe 5 years ago, but in the Southern Europe area, there is no single resort that has implemented this. Okay, so we will be the first. We will start this year. I think this is something that is very innovative in our environment, in our competitive environment. And in the first year, we will make a big effort in order to explain how this model works. Because as I was saying in the beginning, everyone knows, and all of us know how the example of the hotel industry or the airlines, how it works. But for the customer, when it comes to skiing, will be a newness, and then we will have to make a big effort in order to explain them how we work with all this. So the thing is, mainly there are a couple of things that should be underlined. First thing would be that the sooner you buy, the better price you'll get. And second point is the highest number of people that there will be skiing in the resort, the higher price you will pay for that. Okay, so these are the two main points related to dynamic pricing. But there are also some other things, some other fields that are important to us. So, for example, the virtual reality is one of the things. VR is one of the key points that we will develop in the coming years. So when it comes to the application, for example, if you are skiing in the resort, you will be able to open your mobile phone, your camera, and just aim to one specific point. Could be a restaurant, could be a track, and then you will get all the information about that restaurant or that point. You will be able to make a reservation or to know exactly the length of the track, how difficult it is, and so on. So we will be implementing this type of things. We already have things there, but still there is a lot of things to be done. And also when it comes to the artificial intelligence, for example, just to give an example, so in the groomers we have sensors that when they are working in the night, they analyze the state of the snow cloak. They send that information to the cannons, and the cannons produce exactly the amount of snow that is needed according to that information. So it means that we are avoiding wasting of electricity and wasting of water. So these are just a few examples of the things that we are doing. So we are a leader, and as a leader we have to behave, which means that we have to put a lot of efforts in all these type of things. So I think it's a good way to do it.
So Andorra is working quite a lot, and of course you, as one of the main actors in hosting big sport events, and I guess innovation is also a key element in it, isn't it, David?
I would say that complementing what Juan was saying, technology usually is seen as the first step in innovation, but technology is a consequence. So there has to be a framework before, and the company has to be ready to, when you have an idea on somebody proposes something, you need an organization that is prepared to accept these new ideas. So ski industry is quite conservative, and there are many companies that sometimes they have to create a spin-off, or sometimes they have to simply leave the company and create your own startup because your idea has no possibility to progress. So I think that one of the important things in the ski industry, especially in Andorra, is that even in this, we can say, conservative environment, the permeability of the organization to accept new ideas is very important. And the sport events is a good example, because we have to show our capabilities to everywhere in the world. So a sport event, major sport events like World Cups, or now the candidate to be organizer of World Championships, is something that puts Andorra in the map of the world. So this means that we have to be able to understand that we're competing with the top tier ski resorts in the world. And we were talking about technology. So sometimes we've been talking with other sport events organizers, and they simply conceive the event like competition. But competition maybe takes 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, but the day has 24 hours, 8 is for sleeping. But the rest, something has to happen. So we are using technology to analyze what we call spectator journey. So we are designing not only one single event, but we are using technology to understand each spectator, how they will live or how they will enjoy the sport event. So I remember that we were talking with my colleague Juan, that the same they are using to attract customers and skiers to the resort, we are applying exactly the same technology, the same CRM system to understand each kind of spectator. How can we design a good event for them? So it's not the same event if you come with your kids, for example. For example, you probably will look for where's the best entertainment, where are the kids' activities. But exactly the same event if you come with your colleagues from the university, maybe. Probably you will look for the best beer in the event. And this is nothing related with the first experience. So we have to be able to use technology to analyze these pain points and these special needs of every group, and then design one polyhedric sport event to give a good answer to this kind of different, we can say, yeah, segments. There are customer segments. So I think that without the technology, it's practically nowadays impossible. So we are using a very powerful platform that is obviously useful for the daily ski business, but it's also very useful when you have to design not one single event, but an event with so many different phases. So I think this is going to be something differential now and in the future of sport events.
And just one very small thing. We're talking about technology. We are talking about transforming the way of working. But then you need to transform your organization. For example, as we detected that we had a lack of talent, depending on what position. So what we've done, we've been hiring for the team people specialize in analyzing data. I mean, all the strategy for the coming years is based in the data analysis. So we'll take decisions based on real effect, on data. And then we didn't have the talent within the company. So we have hired mathematics so that we'll be able to help us to improve, especially with the pricing process, which is a key point. We've hired an e-commerce manager. So from now on, we are an online seller. So we need to be analyzing, testing all the time, and improving the process so that the client can buy easier. And also strengthen the IT area, which is key, because then the IT area is strategic in the company from now on. So it's not only the customer part, but it's only the inside part.
In reinforcing what David has said at the beginning about the technology is a key point, obviously, but does it come before or is it a consequence? Obviously, you need to generate an innovation culture inside your organization. And usually, when you've been an organization without innovation for several years, breaking that stability, the longer the time has been, the harder it is. But once you've done it, once the team has learned that maybe it's better to ask for pardon than asking for permission, then you are generating a new dynamic, a dynamic where everyone feels that he is able to propose something new. It doesn't matter what's his position inside the organization. That's one of the things that I'd like to express, independently on the technologies or not. But then you need the technology to accelerate that process. Yeah. And in our case, for example, we were in a end phases of our project before with Naturland, where a very low part of our sales were coming from the online selling, from the direct online selling, and one of our main problems were the lanes on the ticket offices. So we modified our offer, our sales offer, to incentivize our customers going to our web. At the moment, more than half of our sales are coming directly from our online sale channel. And during the high season, many days, 100% of our sales are coming directly from that channel. So now what's the consequence? Okay, we've been able to sell online. We've been able to avoid the lanes for selling the tickets. But now, anyway, the people, they need something physical to go through the gates. And now we need the technology again to avoid those lanes, to get that physical support for something what's not physical. In our case, we sell experiences, we sell emotions, we sell services. So why do we oblige someone who has already purchased the service to have something physical? And in this case, possibly the airplanes industry has gone before us, because they give you the support already on your digital support, which is the cell phone. Okay? And here is where, well, we will have to be working to avoid those lanes to get the ticket which you already purchased.
I think that just one thing, sorry, Pedro. We've been testing past season the forfait in the mobile. Mm-hmm. So technology is there. So it's a matter of a couple of years, and we will have it.
I think that all of us, we are working on the same ways, I think. But in line with the speech of David and Xabi, I think that when we talk about innovation, we think on technology, but it's not always in that way. For example, at Vallnord, more than 20 years ago, an ski resort opens in summer. This is new. An innovation is something new to offer your customers. Or in 2005, when we create the bike park officially, the UCI World Cups, etc. But we also use technology, and for example, we have a GPS locators for children of our schools in order to avoid losses. It's very important for the parents. We have our own software to control the snowmaking process, direct from a smartphone or a tablet. And this is when we start with a new software to provide snowmaking and snow groomers drivers information about the thickness and the distribution of the snow over those slopes. And we are looking for using latest technologies on local pushes notifications direct to the smartphones, some smartphones that has visited us previously, to contact direct with that customers in order to send new discounts, new offers for that day. This is a direct communication with our customers. We think that this is the path for us. And other technologies, yes, we are looking for the app in your smartphone, in your mobile, is the key. We don't want physical support. Who want it? Mm-hmm. This is not the future. I think that it is the present. Next year, next 2 years.
You have introduced some technologies that will help to better manage snow, to better be more efficient. So more and more, we have seen that customers, not only government, also customers are looking more for ski resorts that are more eco-friendly, or look for having more sustainable management or business models. And the more and more we see this linkage between innovation and sustainability, and how innovation is a key driver to achieving this sustainability. Mm-hmm. How are you dealing with these two topics that they were so far not quite aligned, but now are, I think, you cannot disassociate to really...
Well, I think that here, obviously, new sustainable energies are one of the key bases, obviously. And in our case, our energetic demand is much more little, as we do have almost no lifts. But anyway, we do use groomers. We do have some lifts, and obviously, but our main consumption comes from heating. We are in the mountain. We have several buildings, and we need to heat those buildings. So we are working on different alternatives. One of the most innovative things that the company did about 10 years ago is that one of our main service buildings is heated with geothermal heating system. But at the same time, now we are at the phase where we need to renew some of our heating systems, and we are obviously examining the possibilities of installing solar panels, aeolic fans. But another one of the options we have is we have a really big wood, and there are some bio energy to be profited from there. So in our case, this is one of the things we are dealing with, and we are trying to be more efficient.
Yeah. When we talk about sustainability, I think that all the people think only in ecological, environmental, etc. But we at Vallnord, we think innovation and under the umbrella of sustainability always, but with a triple sustainability: the social, the economical, and obviously the ecological. The social, because all the innovations that we apply should generate new jobs or maintain the existing ones. This is the social sustainability. The economical, because it must be economically sustainable. It's useless to apply an innovation that makes us very ecological if it increases the company's debt until levels that never seen. But of course, ecological. And talking about solar energy, on 2017, we built 300 solar panels over the roof of the cable car in La Massana that generates the 2% of our electricity consumed. But this year, we are building, we're finishing the building of one of the largest solar parks in Andorra, at 2,300 meters high, with more than 5,200 solar panels that will create 2.4 kilowatt million per year. This, added with the solar panels that we built in 2017, makes that all the 37% of the electricity that we need to run the ski resort will be produced directly from the sun. We are really proud about this, and this is the way to the present and future for I think that all the ski resorts.
I would add something that I think that sustainability has become something that it's a must-have. So maybe 20 years ago it was a nice to have, and maybe some clients from certain countries they really valued this, but nowadays it's something that is absolutely necessary.
Sure.
Because luckily the new generations they take this as for granted. So maybe our generations or people that is older than us, maybe they are assuming that this is a challenge, but the younger generations they take it. And from the point of view of the sport events, I can give you an example of how we are facing sustainability, as you said before, not only from the environmental point of view, that it's something that everybody imagines, especially in the ski industry, that we have obviously an impact on the environment. But sustainability, from the point of view of a major event, we are taking the ODS, the Objective of Sustainable Development of United Nations, and then we are building a full framework of how everything you do in your organization of event will take or will have impact in each of these objectives. Because as you said, there are many other things like labor rights, like gender equality. This is also part of the sustainability. Yeah. And the first step is that the organization has to believe it, have to internalize as some of their main pillars of their strategy, and then translate into real objectives and real activities. So I think that it's very important to understand this broad image of sustainability, not only environment, that is something that obviously we must have, but we have to have a bigger idea about what sustainability means, not only in the ski industry, but also in the sport events that take place in our resorts.
Yeah. I mean, when we talk about sustainability, I think we should look at the internal part of it, which is the team, the staff, how we work with that. Of course, also with the customers, and also the suppliers. So we at Grandvalira, I mean, we take a look at these three aspects of the process, so that in every single part we take care of for example, we are now working with trying to finish with the one single-use plastic, so that we buy new things so that can be reused, and we at the same time are minimizing the use of these materials. For example, by trying to avoid the waste of electricity, as I was saying before, and water in the processes. You know that this is a key part, especially in the operative part of the resort. So this is a very important aspect, and at the end, we have to try to minimize the emission of CO2, which is key in the process. And as you were saying, David, this is something that is here to stay. So we take it seriously, because it's serious, and all the companies and all the industries that don't take this serious, they will be out, for sure. Because, as you were saying, the new generation is taking these in the first position, in top of the things that they're looking at. So we need to be, and also because we want to have a good heritage for our next generation, and this is our responsibility as a company, and especially in the industry where we are working. So I think it's a key factor, of course.
Yeah, I think we are talking about the two key factors probably that are our main challenges in our sector. One is the energy, the other one is the waste. In the case of the energy, new solutions have been also developed by the ski resorts. There are some installations like the snowmaking system, which many years ago it was seen like something with a huge impact. At the moment, some of these snowmaking systems are being used to generate energy. And here in Ordino, you have one case where the dam where the water is taken from for the snowmaking system is also used for producing energy, and it produces as much energy as the ski resort consumes in a year-round basis. Okay, so there are new solutions which are being developed, and then I think that in the other key factor which we were talking about, which is the waste, we really need the important partnerships with our providers. I mean, food providers, drink providers, they need to take seriously our needs because if not, it's really difficult to eliminate, for example, the PET, the single-use plastic bottles. In our case, in Naturland, they are barely disappeared. We have made them disappearing, working with our partners to use reusable glass bottles. So there is barely no PET. And we are eliminating almost every plastic waste from our services. I think that but the partnership with the providers is basic on this. If not, it's impossible.
In our case, every single company that wants to work with us, they have to sign a document of environmental responsibility so that they are committing to several things that are key for us. So if they don't commit, they don't sign this document, they cannot work with us. So
I think that the word that defines what we're saying is coherence. So you have to be coherent. When you talk about sustainability, then you have to be coherent in everything you do. If not, it's just greenwashing, you know? I remember I'm not going to say who, but I was in a presentation from one important major event. They were talking about their sustainability policy, blah, 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 blah. And at the very end, they said, and we used 300,000 liters of gas oil, of diesel, for the power generator. I said, okay, but there are other possibilities. So sometimes, if you really don't integrate into your corporation this ideal and makes part of your daily operations, there are going to be mistakes like this. Yeah. So the sustainability is very beautiful at the main headquarters. We are sustainable, but then you have to demonstrate every day.
It has to
and
be
that's the difficult part
of the culture of a company.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's important. It's important. Now we are at Vallnord Provincial being consequent with this strategical umbrella of sustainability. We have started the study of for reducing our carbon footprint, talking about CO2. We don't know up to what level of reducing, but we have started, and we will see next years. But solar panels, alternative energies, reducing carbon footprints, I think that is a way that okay.
So I could be discussing this topic with you for hours.
For hours,
but
yeah.
Unlucky, so we are running out of time. I see some faces in the audience that are needing a coffee break. So just thank you again and encourage you to keep working as you are doing, because I think that as we are doing right now, we could be leaders in this transition to a more innovative and sustainable ski resort. So congratulations and thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.